The Galactic Council chamber fell silent as Ambassador Zekthar of the Vornathi Dominion addressed the assembled delegates. His 4 eyes gleamed with satisfaction beneath the crystalline dome that housed the galaxy's most powerful civilizations. "The human question is settled," he announced, his translator converting his chittering language into something the diverse species could understand. "Their sun grows cold. Their worlds freeze. In 3 cycles, perhaps 4, humanity will be extinct. Natural selection has spoken." Murmurs of agreement rippled through the chamber. The Chlorosians nodded their serpentine heads. The Methane Collective pulsed with approval. Even the ancient predecessors, who rarely spoke, seemed to accept this conclusion with their characteristic silence. Humanity had been an anomaly. When they first achieved faster-than-light travel 2 centuries ago, the galaxy had watched with curiosity. Here was a species that had clawed its way from a single world, fighting through wars, plagues, and near-extinction events. They had split the atom before leaving their atmosphere. They had walked on their moon using computers less powerful than a modern translation device. But the galaxy was old, and it had seen ambitious species before. The Council had observed humanity's expansion with mild interest, then growing concern. Humans built colonies on inhospitable worlds that other species wouldn't touch. They thrived in 1.2 G gravity wells. They endured radiation that would kill a Vornathi in minutes. Their ships were crude but effective, held together with what they called duct tape and hope. Then humanity made their mistake. They asked to join the Galactic Council. The established powers couldn't allow it. Humanity was too young, too aggressive, too unpredictable. So the Council did what it always did with troublesome species. They isolated them. Trade embargoes, navigation hazard warnings around human space, subtle genetic plagues that reduced birth rates, and finally the stellar engineers were dispatched. The predecessors had the technology to adjust stellar life cycles. It was delicate work, they explained. A nudge here, a gravitational fluctuation there. Nothing obvious. Nothing that would violate the Council's own laws about genocide. They would simply accelerate the process. Sol would cool faster than natural. Humanity's home system would become uninhabitable. Their colonies cut off from support would wither. It was mercy, really. Better than war. 5 years had passed since the stellar adjustment. The reports confirmed it. Earth's temperature had dropped by 3 degrees. Crop failures were widespread. Humanity's colony ships had stopped launching. Their transmission frequencies had gone quiet. The fire that had burned so brightly was dying, and the galaxy could return to its comfortable equilibrium. Zekthar was preparing his closing remarks when the chamber's communications array erupted with alerts. "Emergency transmission," the station's AI announced. "Origin human space. Priority Alpha." "Impossible," Zekthar said. "They don't have the power to—" The holographic display activated without authorization. A human woman appeared floating in zero gravity. Behind her, through a viewport, stars blazed with unusual intensity. She wore a simple jumpsuit marked with an insignia Zekthar didn't recognize. A phoenix rising from flames, surrounded by 7 stars. "Greetings, Galactic Council," she said. Her voice was calm, almost conversational. "My name is Captain Sarah Chen of the Prometheus Initiative. We've been meaning to have this conversation for a while now." "How did you breach our security?" a Chlorosian delegate demanded. "We didn't breach anything," Chen replied. "We just arrived. You see, 5 years ago, our scientists noticed something interesting about our sun. The math didn't add up. Stars don't just spontaneously age unless someone helps them along." Zekthar felt his blood chill. "At first we were terrified," Chen continued. "Our home was dying and we didn't know why. But then we did what humans do best, we adapted. You thought cutting us off would make us weak? You gave us motivation." The view behind her shifted, revealing a massive structure. It took Zekthar a moment to comprehend what he was seeing. A Dyson swarm. Thousands of satellites orbiting a star, but not Sul. This star was different. Smaller, closer, redder. "Proxima Centauri," Chen said. "Our nearest neighbor. While you were waiting for us to freeze, we built this. 17,000 solar collectors. Each one designed by engineers who knew their children's children might not see completion. We launched them in secret from the dark side of our moon, using every resource we had left." She smiled, and Zekthar saw something in that expression that made his 4 eyes widen. Not anger, but determination. "You know what's funny about humans? We're really, really good at surviving when everyone thinks we're dead. We crawled out of ice ages. We survived supervolcanoes. We've been knocked down so many times that getting back up is basically our species' default setting. The display changed again. This time it showed dozens of ships, each one larger and more advanced than anything humanity had previously built. They were sleek, powerful, and clearly armed. The energy from Proxima Centauri. We're beaming it home. Earth's temperature is already rising. Our colonies are receiving power. And these ships? They're just the first wave. We've got 3 more star systems coming online in the next 2 years. Zekthar tried to speak, but no words came. We're not asking to join your council anymore, Chen said. We're informing you that humanity is here to stay. You tried to snuff out our fire, and instead you taught us to burn brighter. You gave us a common enemy, a shared purpose. You united us in a way we could never have managed on our own. She leaned forward, and her eyes held the weight of billions. So here's what happens next. You leave us alone, and we'll leave you alone. Try this again, and you'll discover exactly why humans are really good at one other thing: remembering who tried to kill us. The transmission ended. The chamber erupted in chaos. Delegates shouted over each other. The predecessors, for the first time in recorded history, looked uncertain. Zekthar stared at the empty holographic display. In trying to extinguish humanity's fire, they had given it fuel. The humans hadn't just survived. They had evolved, adapted, and emerged stronger. The galaxy, he realized, had just made a terrible miscalculation. Humanity's fire hadn't died. It had only been gathering strength. And now the stars themselves burned with it.